Back, baby. Missed me while I was gone. 716, stand up. Neck on that beat. Let go. Mr. 716 with them fly ass chicks who paint them pretty ass lips. With them trap boys out doubling up on bricks. For musicians like myself that was blessed with a glitch. Rap with a package, see what it is. Swerving through traffic like I lost control of the whip. Hurt the competition like I ran over these bricks. Double lines mean nothing when you're hugging the bridge. Red light, green light, headlight, beat bright. Superstar life make these lanes hate right. Fabulous flow make the girls say nice. So rock cups full to the party break light. The cross keys going see the cab in sight. On to the next like Jay said, right? Yeah, swag too slick, make a hater wanna bite. Not out of Zella boy, but you clicked in my life. So what I gotta prove? Living my lyrics like boy, nothing to lose. And an uncle on the mic, hit the beats be bruised. The cat look calm like I never made a move. Back on the beat, back the hammer in the seat. These boys all brittle, tried up right. I never move cripple cause I got 2 feet. Provided my own meals, boy, nobody fed me. The grind is impeccable, I've been chasing decimals. Now it's like me and the money is inseparable. Catch the message that I'm sending to you. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. I've been through it, but I've been spewed it. Now I feel like a champ, bitch, I'm undisputed. Thought I conquered the whole game, the hustle never been lame. Pretty soon you fucks don't remember my name.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Talk You Is Tuesday, baby. It's getting closer and closer to those great old days of Talk You Is Tuesday. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me and my family, and I appreciate it. How's everybody? First of all, how's my family doing? You know what I mean, Zara? How you feel out there, Zara?
Oh man, it's a new day. We're gonna get into it, but all I'm gonna say is it's a new day. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. But I always gotta let the public know that it is going down like prom dresses.
Okay. All right. Guru, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Glad to be here. Glad to see all the particulars in here. We got a lot of things happening in the sports world, basketball, a little football. I'm a little bit, I can't really get into the football and the minutia yet, but man, some interesting machinations. And then also you got the Olympics, man. You can't take that for granted. That's a beautiful thing too. These people have worked their whole lives to get to this point. So I'm just enjoying everything. I'm breathing the air, and I'm just happy to be here, my brother.
Okay. Chocolate girl.
What up?
How's everything?
What up? Everything's great. It's all good in the neighborhood.
All right. That's good to hear. Ron, how you feeling out there, Ron?
I feel good, man. I feel very good today.
That's good to hear. That's definitely good to hear. All right. With that being said, y'all know as we always start, we got our trash ass players and our certified players. Um, Ron, you got your trash ass player?
Oh yeah, it's your basketball team, GM.
Oh yeah.
The 76ers.
All right. All right.
Because they want 4 number 1 first round pick and a flop and a young player for Simmons. Simmons not even worth all that. He worth a barrel of Doritos and a Coca-Cola. Not even the drink, just the barrel of Doritos.
All right.
What flavor?
It, it don't matter.
I'm with that.
Okay. Sharon, you got any, Sharon?
Trash ass players. Yeah, I have one. Um, all the people criticizing Simone Biles for pulling out some of her individual and the team competition because they have no idea what twisties are. I know people who are gymnasts. It's a real thing. It's not a mental health issue, really. It's not a mental health like there's something off mentally. That's not what it is. It's a timing thing. And it can be impacted by a multitude of things. It's not necessarily evidenced by it's not the result of her having a weak character or she's not strong enough or she's not tough enough. It has nothing to do with that. Yet people are blasting her. This woman is a champion. She's the greatest gymnast ever. And I just feel like anybody that doesn't understand that and who's chomping at the bit just to put her down need to shut the hell up, and they're trash. That's it.
Good to me. What you got, Zara?
My trash ass player is injuries. I'm taking it to a different level. My team, I'm telling you, man, just when it looks like things are going well, things are falling apart, and that's good news for your Phillies. Man, I think half the Mets team is injured now. We just traded for Baez, our big acquisition. He hurt. DeGrom is out, the best pitcher in baseball, to September. He just tweeted, and he's pissed in the midst of his best season, and that's saying a lot that this is his best season with an ERA under 1. And it's just frustrating, I mean, a lot of teams get them, but it just seemed like, and it could just be because it's my team. I look at it harder, but we just got so many players. We have no pitching. We traded for Rich Hill, who's 41. We just picked off a pitcher off of waivers from Tampa Bay. I don't know much about him, but we be having these lately to be announced when they're setting the series lineups. And if we've been in first place from day one, we have 57 games left. If we blow that division because we're hurt, not performance, then like I said, man, there's nothing we can do about that. But it just sucks. I don't know if I don't know what it is. Why certain teams just get that bug more than other teams, and you got teams that cheat and win championships and be injury free, and I can't stand injuries in sports. It's just it's part of life, but it doesn't mean I gotta like it. So. F off injuries. Let these guys play and earn their money, and let the real winners win. The Bucks made it through the final. I mean, give them their credit, but even Guru said, I picked them, but they injuries. They had some injuries that they didn't have to face. So, yeah, man, F injuries, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, happened to a lot of my teams, but it's just part of the game to me. Guru.
It's a lot of candidates, but right now off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with NBC.
I think I know this one.
I just can't really fathom the fact that NBC is not showing certain games on their regular network to show them on what they call, I think, the Peacock network. I'm an older guy, so you guys laugh at me with the streaming and all that kind of stuff. Nah, that's good. I mean, I'm learning. I'm learning each day. I got my little Fire Stick and all this other kind of stuff recently. So, but when I got to go out of my way to find your games, I'm just not going to watch your games. I'm just going to flip through to the next channel. And that's really what's been happening sometimes on some of these great events. And I don't, we talk a lot about, people not getting into the Olympics and people not supporting, people being called unpatriotic. Well, does that apply to big business? All NBC is trying to do is promote their station. And I get that. ESPN does the same thing. ABC does the same thing. Everyone. We try to promote this show. So we're no better in that regard. But when you're talking about something that's so global and it only happens every 4 years, don't you have a responsibility to the public to let them see? Now, if you want to, throw entree or something out there and say, okay, you got to go to the Peacock Network for, one of these games or something like that. But for the most part, none of the not NBAs, none of the Olympic basketball games have been really live. You had to really go to their station, and there was games that you had to watch on replay. And I think that there's something, I stay up late a lot, so I think sometimes when you got to watch the results after the fact, whether you know it or not, it takes a little something away from it. So if I get it, it's a long time difference, but the bottom line is the way that NBC has done it, man, they've really manipulated this thing to the point where they've taken a lot of the fun out of it. And I gotta say, for my money's worth, NBC is the trash ass player.
Well, I'm not taking up for them, but it looks like the move is now they want you to pay for the apps instead of paying the cable bill nowadays. So
That's true.
And that's it's looking like that's going to be the new move now. What you saying with the Fire Stick? I watched the show. I watched the game last night. Mizar, a couple other fellas who got the streaming service. We watched it last night. On the streaming service, and it was pretty good. But I understand the NBC they did used to show the games. I understand what you're saying, though, Guru. Because I don't know what they did. I guess they want everybody to just go pay that money. But my first trash ass player is Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis is the only player I've ever seen get lowballed in the NBA free agency in my life. This is just with this new money that they throw. I mean, throwing money. Like, you want a little extra? Here you go. And he's signed for 2 years for $9 million. With the performance that he put on in this playoffs, he should have got a bigger payday than that. He should have got a 3-year, $30-something million payday. That's how I feel in my eyes. But, he wanted to stay in Milwaukee, and I feel as though he got lowballed. So that's my thoughts on Bobby Portis. That's my first trash ass player. Ryan, you got another trash ass player?
No, I want to add to that. Is he a superstar?
No, he ain't no superstar.
Nowhere
So
near.
he off the sideline, right?
Yeah, but he pretty good off the sideline.
Wait a minute. So how much you would pay somebody on the sideline?
Well, shit. What was the bull got paid? $37 million. Was it THT? I can't remember his
For the
whole name.
Lakers,
Played for the
Tucker?
Lakers.
Yeah, he got a 3-year, like 32 or something.
3-year,
Like that.
$32 million deal.
I have a funny feeling he's going to play a lot this season. I think a lot of those guys are going to get hurt. He's going to see some minutes.
There's a lot of them is old, so I mean.
You're right, very.
That's on that. Now, anybody else got any more trash ass players?
No trash.
All right,
Trying to keep it positive, baby.
Tell the rest of my trash.
I do, but I don't want to say it. Yeah, we trying to keep it positive tonight.
I'm gonna tell the rest of my trash because it's trash time. Let me give the 76ers some trash ass player news for signing Andre Drummond. I thought that was a dumbass signing. They could have went and got Robin Lopez. Andre Drummond and Embiid don't even get along. Embiid then wrote a whole Twitter tweet about how he owns real estate in Andre Drummond's head. Like, come
Right.
on, why would you go sign him? Why not sign Robin Lopez? And to my last trash ass player is to all those Eagle fans who believed that Carson Wentz was going to stay healthy for 75% of the season. You have lost your damn mind if you thought Carson Wentz was going to be healthy 75% of the season. I don't even know what the hell you was thinking. Now, that's to all of you Eagle fans out there that believe that BS and mad that we ain't get the first round pick. You knew we wasn't getting that pick anyway when they made that stipulation. They knew what they was doing. You ain't hear that stipulation with no other players. He got to play 75% of the season. The hell?
They were smart. They were smart for
They was smart. Because they knew he
making
wasn't going to make it.
right.
Can I read a couple of these comments?
Yes, you can.
Send me the show, Dennis.
Blaze, Thunder Gabbard, Blaze. Shout out to Blaze Thunder. I said, damn, Lakers probably about to bring Sports Guru in for a role pretty soon.
No, they ain't gonna
That's
do
what
that.
he said.
They ain't gonna do that, Blaze. But I'd love to take some of that money. I got my own, but damn,
I'd take
more
it too.
money than I've ever dreamed of, brother.
And Blaze also said, trash ass player of the Nationals. That was a weak move to trade Turner and Schwartzer to the Dodgers. Yes, but we certainly did benefit. I loved it. Hey, I don't know what they were thinking, but I'm here for it. I couldn't believe it. I actually thought, Zara, that I was like dreaming when I saw the post, and I said, wait a minute, hold it. This can't be true.
and they didn't give up their best prospect, Gavin Lux, either. Oh, me and my boy was like, oh, they definitely giving him up. He wasn't even part of the deal. People crazy.
That was a crazy move, but we benefit, so I'm good. That's it on the I just wanted to say those because that was relevant to what we were talking about.
Let's go with our certified players.
My certified player is the NBA showed this man so much love, and he passed away in April. Terrence Clark.
Oh yeah, they drafted him and everything. Had his family come up to the draft.
Right.
That was nice.
To me, that was nice. That was very nice to draft this man, and he was in a bad car accident, and he died from it. So, big ups to the NBA for doing that.
I agree. It's on my list. The WNBA is on my list because I don't know if y'all know, but it's 25 years, 25th season for the WNBA, which started in 1997. And so all year, they're doing the W25, which is, celebrating the WNBA's 25 years. And they're launching a first ever vote for the GOAT program in the WNBA. And what they're going to do on Sunday, September the 5th, they're going to actually start the voting. And on Tuesday, October 12th is when the GOAT will be announced, whoever we all vote for. And so I think this is great for the WNBA to do it. The hashtag is going to be hashtag WNBA GOAT vote. And I think it's great that they're doing this. This is the type of thing that I've been saying for years that they need to do to increase engagement with the WNBA. Now, if they can get their streaming right, because people are complaining about the games that they're able to see and how they're able to see them this season. For some reason, their streaming is not going very well this season, but people are still watching. Viewership is up like 30-some%. It's just crazy this year. So there's been a huge explosion, which is good. So I just think this is a smart move to do this. Not saying that this is going to all of a sudden make it the most watched sport on the planet, but it's going in the right direction, which is what's needed. So shout out to the WNBA, especially Kathy Engelbert, who's the commissioner.
Okay. What's up, June? Great show you put on earlier. What you got over there, Zar?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. We're gonna get into it or whatever, so I won't try to go too crazy with it because it might be a segment. But you already know. I gotta give it up for my Chicago Bulls, man. I'm a Bulls fan. I'm a Jordan fan, but I'm a Bulls fan. When Jordan left, half of Chicago fans left. I'm a Bulls fan first. And I've had to since 1998. I mean, with little Derrick Rose, 2008, 2011, we had a little bit, whatever. But man, I've endured some terrible seasons, some terrible decisions, scared to make moves. I mean, John Paxson, one of the worst, he has to be one of the worst general managers this sport has ever seen. His claim to fame is obviously drafting Derrick Rose #1, but we had the #1 pick, and you can't screw that up. But we brought in Mark Eversley from Philly. He was in Toronto. We brought in, I always miss his name up, our executive vice president from the Nuggets, who built the Nuggets team that's currently assembled with Jamal Murray, Joker, Michael Porter Jr., Karnosovic, if I'm saying it right. And then obviously we brought in a new coach. They hired Donovan. So like we started from scratch. We cleaned house last year and we showed what we were going to do when we surprised the world when we got Vucevic at the deadline, last year. No one saw that coming. We weren't even in the mix for him. So now we get to, the Lakers still to shine. No problem. It's the Lakers. They're going to steal the shine. That's just how the game goes. So everyone, there was even talks of like, Lonzo Ball might go there or, all kind of, we joked about it, Lakers interested in everyone, so no knock. But now my team came in and stole some shine and got in that news too. We got Lonzo Ball, the Boston Celtics wanted him. Now they're going to keep Marcus Smart because they lost out. DeRozan, which shocked me. I had no idea we were going after DeMar DeRozan, sign a trade. And, I'm just right now, I'm still like shocked over here. I know we got these new guys coming in and I know what their track record was, but just being a fan for so long since the Jordan era, like I'm never excited for free agency because I know we ain't going to get nobody. Ain't nobody coming to Chicago. Like we got Zach LaVine because of a Jimmy Butler trade that just worked out. But like I said, man, big ups, dude. Like it's a new day for being a Bulls fan. And I'm just excited. I don't think we're done. We still got Laurie marketing. We got to figure out what to do with that. But, we're going to get more into this free agency overall. There's been a lot of stuff happening. But I'm just so shocked. Outside of the Lakers, we right there at the top of the heap with the news and for positives. So shout out to my Bulls as a diehard. Get your popcorn ready. We're going to make some noise. Let's get it.
Guru.
Well, let me just say, I'm happy for the Ball family. I've always liked LeVar. I always laugh when people have always knocked him for trying to, promote his kids. All I've ever seen my whole life is people in the suburbs, people in the projects promoting their kids. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're supposed to do. But for some reason, it's always been a negative with him. And yeah, if the media takes it over the top, well, whose fault is that? Look at the kid from the Jets, his quarterback there. His mother has been on social media going nuts, and but we don't see that negativity played up the way it is with LeVar. I'm a little hesitant to go crazy. I did like the DeMar DeRozan move. I think that was a sneaky good move. The one thing a lot of people have brought up is the fact that, the Pelicans just let the Ball kid walk out the door. And, the kid that they got replacing him, he's all right. I think he's a better shooter than him, but that was a little bit curious. But, I believe Rich Paul, I think he's part of Clutch now. Clutch Sports. I think he said something about he was going to get XYZ million, and he got it. So kudos to Chicago. They got to make the playoffs now, so the pressure is going to be on. So we'll see. I don't like the coach. I never did. I think if that's Billy Donovan, if memory serves me correct, he's a terrible coach. He was terrible with OKC, with Westbrook and them. He let them run over him. He was pretty good at Providence, but that was college. That's the one thing, look out, Bull fans. Let's see what he does with all these egos and personalities. He's, like I said, I have a little Big East ties, used to do some reporting in that conference. And, I'm not a big fan of his.
I thought he was with Florida too, Billy Donovan.
Oh yeah, he did.
I thought he's part of those championship teams in Florida.
He won both.
He did.
Yeah, that was his.
He did.
He played with Providence.
He's won well. Well, he's done well on a college level. I said that in my initial statement. My thing is, I don't think he's a good pro coach. When you can control everything, he comes from the Rick Pitino school. And that's, although Rick had tremendous success in college, he's had average success in the NBA. And Billy Donovan, same thing. But let me move on from that. As far as, I want to give Rob Pelinka some credit, because, I didn't think he did a great job last year with the free agency in terms of, surrounding LeBron with the type of player that usually, he likes to be surrounded with. And then one of the things I looked at last year is, it's old saying, water will always seek its level. And Wes Matthews Jr., I didn't really see a lot of him last year. And then, I looked, up his stats and everything, and I noticed his 3-point shooting was in the, the mid 30s. And then I was like, why would I think Milwaukee give him up if he was any good? And he wasn't. He was terrible last year. And so this year they did a lot of good things in terms of, I hear a lot of people saying they got old people, but you need veteran, and that's obviously that's a lot of the influence of LeBron and his guidance. But they got some good young players too. The Nunn kid is a real good player, a steal from Miami. Okay, I know Miami got the kid from Toronto, but man, I saw him play a couple of times against the Lakers this year, and he played very good. So we're gonna see what he does, and then the kid from Charlotte, Monk, who I know Knicks fans really wanted him when he was coming out of the draft, and then I didn't even realize that he had some sort of drug issue, which kept him out one year, and then last year he kind of had a resurgence, and then obviously we were able to keep our own Thornton Tucker, which was definitely, a lot of people thought we were going to lose him. And then the negative in terms of a lot of people were saying we lost defense. We lose no damn defense. People don't even understand. First of all, Caruso, who we lost, is a terrible defender, okay? He's a good help defender. He can't guard on the ball to save his life. And as far as, what's his name is concerned, oh, God, Kuzma, I would have drove from New York to LA, and I don't even like driving from New York to South Carolina, which was like 14 hours. I don't know how many hours, but I would have drove all the way over there to get his ass out of town. That man, his head was so screwed on the wrong places, worried about social media. And that's one of the things you have to deal with when you're dealing with young players. A lot of these guys, their head is not really where it needs to be. And some of them will learn. And that's why you got a guy like, Bazemore, who took less money to play with the Lakers because he knows what it's all about. First of all, when you play with LeBron James, he's going to take care of you. He's going to take care of you monetarily, whether it's buy suits or whatever. He's going to do everything that he's supposed to because that's how classy he is. And so you don't have to worry about that stuff if you're like taking a mid-range exception or things like that, because LeBron got it like that. Okay. And, let me speaking about my man, LeBron, first, to get in the NBA, $1 billion in salary, first ever. So, one of my goals has always been since I retired, I said, what do you want to do? It's not a lot of stuff that I really want to do. I don't really want to work a job. I would probably never. I do want to try to help some kids in terms of, maybe not coaching basketball, but teaching shooting, because that was always my strong point. But the one thing I said I wanted to do is I wanted to be a $250,000 millionaire. I said I wanted to reach that pinnacle. Okay. And it may sound, silly or whatever, but that's just something I said I wanted to do. I wanted to reach that status in life. And just to see LeBron, a billionaire, a brother, a black man, oh man, it makes me feel, some of the things that I've always strived at in terms of teaching my kids: educate yourself, go to college, be smart with your money, don't always do what your homies is doing. Those are things, those are leadership qualities. So, that impresses me. So I really, that's something that just, really touches me in some ways. And there's one other person I wanted to mention. Let me see who it was, as far as just doing the positive things. I know we're going to do the Olympics, so I'll save that for a little later. But I got LeBron, I got Pelinka, and I got I think that's about it. So that's where I'll go with that. So thank you.
We can't hear you, Dennis.
All right, my first certified player. I'm gonna give it to KD for his performance last night. A lot of y'all didn't get to watch the Olympics, but he came up big last night. Led the Olympic team to a win past Spain. My next certified player, I was giving it to Czar. I don't know how the fuck he wished for all that shit and it came true for the Chicago Bulls. But goddamn it, or whatever number you thinking about tonight, I need it. Just let you know that, all right? I don't know how the hell that happened. This motherfucker said, "Oh yeah, I want Lonzo Ball," and then got him. And he said, "Man, it'd be nice if we get DeRozan." Then he got him. I said, "What the fuck? How the fuck this motherfucker just know he gonna get all these people? What the fuck?"
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
And my last certified player is the Trae Young for cashing in and getting that goddamn shmoney. You know what I mean? Got that shmoney.
Shmoney. Or like Snoop said, Munty.
Monty. I got one more.
$207 million. Got the max. Go ahead. Anybody else got any more certified? You got one, Sharon?
Yeah, I got one. My other certified player is Carmelo Anthony, who signed with the Lakers on a 1-year deal. I'm just glad that he's been given a chance to still play, but I've always wanted to see him in the Laker uniform. I've been waiting on him to play for the Lakers for more than 3 years. But way back when he left Denver, before he went to New York, I wanted him to go to LA then, I remember. So shout out to Carmelo Anthony. I hope he just balls the hell out. And I'm shout out to Derrick Rose for re-signing with the Knicks. I was not really feeling him going back to Chicago, believe it or not. I think he needs to stay there and do what he's doing. And I like the relationships that he's built with the young players on that team. They need his veteran leadership. So I'm glad he's staying there. That's it.
I guess it's time to get in. You know what? No. Let's Brian. Let's hear these questions, Brian. Let's get these questions. We didn't get to the questions last week, so let's get these questions.
Let me find them right there.
These questions. Now, Chuck Thomas said, "Is Jimmy Butler worth $50 million?"
Yes.
Maybe. Jonathan said, "Yeah, leadership is necessary, but the whole damn team." Yeah, I understand what
What's he talking about?
Well, Guru said, you need veteran leadership, but he told you don't need the whole damn team of veteran leadership.
Well, he's right, and the whole damn team isn't veterans, so he's right. Thank you.
Well, except 3 of them.
4.
Damon.
I thought they only had 3 that was under 30.
Buck Flair called you Damon Kuzma, and the Lakers are like a used car dealership. OG was surprised that the Bulls got DeMar DeRozan. June said the Bulls look good. LeVar Ball is the man. You're 100% right, Guru. And AB said the Bulls still going 10-72.
You might be right.
Nah.
No way.
All right.
Yeah, no way.
All right, let's
Mm-mm.
hear it, Ryan.
All right, number one. Do you think the refs was cheating for the Bucks in the finals?
No.
There's that one questionable referee, but I don't believe he was cheating. I just think
It
him and Chris Paul got a situation. That's what it looked like.
it just not that. It was not. They were not calling a lot of fouls, and it was fouls.
I mean, it went both ways though.
Right.
Like I can't really sit here and say, damn, the refs blew that joint. Like I've seen some refs blow some shit, but I can't say that about this finals.
What the?
That's the only thing I'm saying. I can't say that. Now that one referee that's questionable with Chris Paul, yeah, he questionable. Maybe he had a couple questionable calls, but it went both ways. I
It
mean,
did.
you still got to play the game. Like on this point, I don't really agree with the ref situation on this point. Now, there's been some other games
I don't
and
either.
situations. The referees was a little bit too much, but not on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't see, I watched the whole series really, and I didn't see them favoring one side versus the other. They missed some call. They blew some calls on both sides,
Right.
and I don't think it was heavily in the favor of either team. So no, I don't believe that particular guy impacted the game the way some people are alleging that he did. And it's not like they played with just one ref on the court. They did have others. So yeah.
I tend to agree with you, Ron. The ref's name is Scott Foster. I think the people who really had a problem with it is the fact that he already had reffed the game in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he reffed the game in the finals, and then the NBA chose to bring him back for another game. And at that time, Chris Paul was 0-12 with him as the referee, and then subsequently 0-13 with him as the referee. The NBA had no business whatsoever allowing him to ref that next game. That was the only point. Whether you're saying calls always go both ways. I mean, that's basketball. We all know that. That's nothing new. The point was the integrity of the game by allowing him to be anywhere near that game when he had already reffed the game in the finals. That was the issue. And that was the issue most people brought up. Not the fact that he had, and even in that game that was in question, he did make 2 or 3 bad calls that people pointed out, one of which was overturned by replay.
Right.
So let's just be factual about it. Thank you.
Well, if Chris Paul's 0-13, well, shit, he better play better next time.
Yeah, well, that thanks to the NBA, that had to be a point, but that's the point made.
Well, thanks for pointing that out, Guru, because I had forgotten all about that, to be honest with you. So thanks for pointing that out. I still don't believe that, to answer Ron's question, that the game was fixed or that they cheated to help Milwaukee win. That was the question. So my answer is still no. But when it comes to having a hint of impropriety, you're absolutely right. The NBA had no business having him anywhere near that game.
That's the only point.
He shouldn't even been a spectator. He shouldn't even been there. Period. Just don't even be in the building. Because I'm being facetious. I don't really mean that part.
I thought you were being facetious.
But the point is, no, they should not have had him reffing that game. They really shouldn't.
I with all y'all. I just feel like every time Chris Paul see that man, the referee, it don't favor in Chris Paul.
His psyche has to be affected.
It like
I don't know about that.
The man,
I don't know about that.
Wait a minute.
I ain't buying the psyche thing.
With this man calling your game 0-13.
I'm not buying the psyche thing. But I do agree with Guru. He shouldn't have been there. I agree with that.
One story. let me just say one story. I remember, I was reffing, not reffing, excuse me. I never reffed, only in like practices and stuff like that. But I remember one time we were in a Nike championship game. My daughter was about 12 years old. And, this was for all New York City Nike, which was one of the biggest tournaments. I played in, coached in a lot of big tournaments here in New York City. And that was one of them. Nike, Rose Classic, those were the big ones in New York City. And I remember one of the referees was my boy Ponch. Now, me and Ponch, we had a love-hate relationship, let's say. But Ponch, we go way back. And one thing I loved about Ponch as a referee is that he would always teach the kids. Like if my daughter was doing something wrong, he would tell her what she was doing wrong, before she did a 3 seconds. Because part of basketball on that level is teaching. So that being said, in that Nike tournament, we were getting killed on the foul calls. So I'm just going to be candid. I remember all of a sudden it started changing because Ponch was calling a lot of calls in our favor. And after the game, I asked, I said, Ponch, what happened? He said, hey, them mother bleepers was calling everything against you. I had to even up the score. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that as long as I live. And me and Ponch, from that day on, and we won that championship. I ain't ashamed to say it because it was 2 against 1. But from that day on, Ponch was my man, 100 grand. I love that man to this day because he saw what we saw. And I'm just telling you, my only point of making this point is just to tell you that referees is human. They very human. They very human. So when I say psyche, things of that nature, let me tell you something, man. I coached enough games to know. I remember I used to get I got thrown out of a couple of my daughter's high school games because people hated me that much. Before the game, I had one tech before the game started. Hey, we getting him out of here. So hey, that's just the way it is, man. I just keeping it real. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. This is a great show, but I had to share that. Ponch, thank you for that division. Well, it wasn't division. That was a Nike championship. Nike championship. I remember that. And there's another one that goes in the Guru's, chest down there in the back room somewhere. But thank you.
Number 2, do you think anyone that do you think anyone in the NBA that flop need to get fined and suspended? And what I mean by this, you get fines all the time for flopping. And I think you need to get suspended. I mean, you get so many fines.
But that is the rule. After you get a certain amount of fines, it can step its way, but it just hasn't happened yet. But I believe that is a rule. It escalates.
What do you think, Sharon?
Well, when they flop and it's caught in the game, they get a check. If they catch it in the post-game video reviews, then it's a fine. And I'm happy with the way the rules are. I don't think they need to be changed.
Okay. What do you think,
I mean, they're getting checks and fines now, so
Um,
I don't know about the suspensions.
yeah, they only gonna do suspensions if it was a Meta World Peace or something like that was doing it,
right?
So somebody that's been pissing off referees, maybe a Luka Doncic should get it, because he's been pissing referees off lately. So
Okay.
that's about it.
What do you think, Zara?
Whatever it is. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, again, that's just the nature of this NBA today. It's a cupcake league, and it's just the nature of the game. I mean, I guess they're trying to stop it. I mean, sure, they can suspend them. They won't. I mean, I don't know if that's going to stop it, but sure, why not?
Okay. Number 3, what team you think coming out of the NFC West this year in the NFL?
So you're asking who's gonna win the division?
Yes.
Well, it won't be the Colts now. I don't think. I thought
What
it
did-
NFC
wait,
said
what division?
NFC West. NFC
West.
NFC West.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. NFC West. That's Arizona, San Francisco, the Rams, and Seattle. Isn't that right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I said it was going to be the Cardinals, but I don't know.
Dude,
My first England is the Cardinals. Anybody else?
I got the Cardinals as well.
I got the Cardinals.
I finna throw out a wild card. I got the 49ers.
That ain't no wild card. A lot of people picking the 49ers.
Well, I did pick the 49ers about 3 weeks ago, but I've changed my mind since.
I got them coming in dead last.
I got the 49ers coming back because all they starters back healthy.
They still got Jimmy G though.
Hey, they could say
Easily the worst quarterback in that division by far.
Well,
They start the rookie.
We don't know. But I mean, that's cool. I'd rather play him than Jimmy G, but that don't mean he's real raw. Out of all the quarterbacks, I like him, but he's the rawest of those quarterbacks. Meaning, like, it may take him some time.
Well, the reason I changed my mind, you all have heard me say how I feel about their training staff, and their training staff is horrible, and they didn't fire them. I said after last season and the season before, they should have gotten a whole new staff. They didn't. So that's what made me change my mind, because they're going to this. I don't wish injuries on anybody, but I don't forecast them staying any healthier this year than they did the last 2 seasons.
Okay.
I think the training staff situation, I know why they didn't fire him, because a lot of their players got injured on the same field. A lot of their players got injured in MetLife Stadium.
Not both years, though. Not both seasons.
No, not both seasons, but last year, a lot of players got injured in MetLife Stadium.
Okay, so
yeah, but I don't think it had to do with the stadium necessarily for all those.
They were saying that they
not for all those injuries.
They hate that stadium.
A few, but not all of them.
I'm just talking about the ones that got injured in MetLife Stadium. They all said that they need to fix that stadium.
But you know how many players been playing on that?
But last year, disproportionate players tore their ACLs and injuries that were very severe, or whether the Jets was hosting or whether the Giants was hosting.
Right.
So there was something to that. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, hey, Stephen A., it's a duck. It ain't a bleeping mongoose. I mean, it is what it is. And, when your career is on the line and, you feel something is not right, and those players, they play on that field. So they have the right to say whether they thought the field was maintained properly or not. And, the statistics bear it out that, there were several players, week to week, back to back, belly to belly, who, got severely injured on that field. So, it is what it is. Was it totally, the Giants or whoever's fault? I'm not sure, but it did happen. And they did bellyache about it a lot last year. That's for sure.
But it wasn't only San Francisco players that were bellyaching about it. That's what my point is. I'm just talking about the 49ers, and in terms of their strength and conditioning team staff and the horrible job that they've done over the past 2 seasons. And people weren't talking about that in 2019, but 2020 they were about Giant Stadium or whatever. That's fine. I agree. I'm not disputing that at all, but I'm just saying they did not get rid of that staff. They have the same people there, minus maybe 1 or 2 insignificant ones. And so I changed my mind.
So you think they should have got rid of the staff?
Yeah, if you look at what has happened, I'm not the only person that feels this way. I've talked to other people about this subject. And if you look at what has happened to their team, if you look at the past 3 seasons, it's been a trend. But starting in 2019, it was so obviously bad that you cannot notice this. I mean, the stars, the lesser stars, everybody's hurt. It was almost as bad as the Steelers were 2 years ago. But this has happened 3 years in a row for them. So that's the only thing that I'm looking at. I'm like, why haven't they changed up their strength and conditioning team? Why haven't they made some adjustments? And they haven't. And so I don't know. I just question it. And no way in the world that all of these starters should be hurt. All of these second streams should be hurt. 3 seasons in a row.
There's only one reason why they didn't get rid of him, and that's because of Kyle Shanahan. And I guess because of their management feeling that, you know, he knows what he's doing. I mean, people do give him this godly reputation, and he's never won anything. So, you know, it starts at the top. So usually when you start attacking assistant coaches and people that work underneath him, you know, that a lot of coaches don't like that to be done, because that usually spells the beginning of the end for the head coach. So that the only reason it hasn't happened is because of the respect and that Kyle Shanahan has been able to, you know, ascertain, I guess, at this point. And, you know, whether that's warranted or not, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about San Francisco. All I know is about the Giant Stadium situation, which Dennis alluded to, which I know to be factual. So, you know, I'm not talking about only San Francisco, but several teams that went in there last year complained about it. So,
right,
you know.
Right. Yeah, I'm not disputing that at all. I hope they cleaned up that doggone stadium. Has anybody heard? Have they done any repairs? Have they done anything to it?
That's the crazy thing about it. I haven't heard nothing about it the year before, like Guru said. But last year during COVID, it seemed to be a big thing for the ACLs and a lot of injuries.
Right.
And like I said, it wasn't until those San Francisco players said something that it actually caught my eye. And I was like, well, damn, they did play the Giants and the Jets there. So they would know. There must be something wrong with that stadium. Now, that was a stadium that had the Super Bowl posted just some years back. I think it was about maybe 10 years back. So, go ahead, Ryan.
I gotta say this because I forgot what year the 49ers faced Green Bay in Green Bay. And they were injured that year. I think it was like 4 years ago. That whole season, the 49ers, they went down like dominoes.
Yeah. It could have been three or 4 years ago.
Right. So it was like, maybe it just one of those teams that just stay injured every other season. I mean, Number 4, do you think the Las Vegas Raiders will make it to the playoffs this year?
They got a chance. They got a chance.
A chance with what?
They got a chance to make it to the playoffs. They got a running game and they got a defense. Running game and the defense is enough for you to do it. And they have the Kansas City Chiefs number. So
I can't do his voice, but I've been mimicking this for years, and every time I hear that word, I'm going to do it again. Playoffs? I just hope, Maurice Donovan just hope they can win a game. Because they ain't going to no playoffs. San Diego will be second in that division, and the Chargers have a chance to make the playoffs. Probably won't the AFC.
Now here's the thing, Czar. This is the biggest thing with John Gruden. I said this last year because I had to ask Buck Flair about it when we was doing the show. This is the biggest thing. He cannot win in December. He has a big problem winning in December. And it goes all the way back to him being with the Bucks. He has a big problem winning in December. And they're not the San Diego Chargers, they're the LA Chargers.
Well, it happens every year. Last year, I think they were like 5-2 or something. And he always, just what you're saying, the second half of the season, well, I don't know if it's cold or, whatever it is, there's pressure.
I know it ain't a cold thing. He beat us. He beat us to go to.
That's what I'm saying. So
I know it ain't a cold thing.
They they don't have the team. Let alone, I don't think he's the like I was talking about before. him 20 years ago, the stuff he did, I don't think it's as relevant, and the X's and O's and the stuff that he does, I think it's a little outdated. And I don't believe in Derek Carr to win 10 in the AFC. You're gonna have to win 10, 11 games. Last year, the Dolphins didn't even make it. One of those, was it the Dolphins? And they won 10 games and they make the playoffs. Yeah. No, they're not going to make the playoffs.
Last year, the Raiders beat the Jets because Greg Williams decided he didn't want to be on the Jets no more, and he was looking for some future employment, so he let the Raiders win that game.
I'm going to say this. The only good year the Raiders had is that, I hate to bring this up, when David Carr got injured.
Yeah, that was a good year for them.
That was the best year for a long time for the Raiders. After that, they had not done that. Yes or no, Dennis?
They did some things back in the early 2000s, but
I'm not talking about. I'm talking
about.
They
got a good history. He's talking about a recent.
Yeah, recently, no, they ain't did
with this kind of core of players since Derek Carr been there, yeah.
Since the head coach been there.
Oh yeah, they haven't done that. They were 4-12, 7-9, and 8-8. This is his fourth year. He ain't been over 500 yet. This is year 4. And I always say you give a coach 3 years to implement. He going into year 4. They get his man $100 million. Hey, don't blame me.
They're not gonna fire him. He got $100 million.
He got a 10-year contract.
Right, a 10-year contract.
Guaranteed.
Crazy.
You gonna let them man go?
Crazy.
I don't think they'll let him go, but if he don't get to the playoffs this year, they're gonna have to move him somewhere else.
They're gonna have to do something.
So you tell me they'll be break their contract?
No. I said they're going to have to move him to another capacity in a different role. He'll still be with the organization.
With the Raiders.
If they don't get to the playoffs this year, I don't see any way how he's going to remain the head coach. In my opinion, sort of like what they did with Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, yeah.
Okay. I'll make that same analogy.
I don't think Derek Carr is the problem. I'm just gonna get that out the way.
He ain't the solution.
I don't think he's the problem though. I can win a Super Bowl with Derek Carr.
So, with the Ravens, with the Ravens defense.
No, I could win a Super Bowl with Derek Carr if he played for the Eagles the year we
won. So Dennis, what the problem is now?
The problem look like is that they don't. To me, they don't get the right wide receivers to complement.
They don't draft well.
So
that's it.
They don't get the right wide receivers to complement. They tried. Don't get me wrong. They tried because when they had Amari Cooper and my man Crabtree, who got his chains taken, ain't been the same since. When they got them two, it was cool. But then they got rid of both of them. So then they went out and they got AB. And then next thing you know, AB had all these brand new fucking problems. Mental health, feet, fighting the fucking GM. I ain't never seen no shit like this. Ain't never seen no shit like this.
But wait a minute. Are you sure it's the wide receivers? Because his passer rating, Derek Carr's passer rating, 2018 was 93.9. 2019 is 100.8. In 2020, it was 101.4. Right. That's not bad.
It's not bad.
So he passing the ball to somebody. That was not all tight end play.
But you cannot listen. This is not the early 2000s. You cannot win a championship with mediocre wide receivers. You need somebody that's going to go.
But his passer rating tells otherwise. That it's not the wide receivers.
I think it is the wide receivers.
You know what? I think it's the GM.
Nah, the GM did a good job.
No, I actually like Mayock.
Yeah, I like Mayock too. I think Mayock's doing a great job.
Wait a minute, they called him the guru.
This is what I think, and I joked about this. Hey, Ryan, I joked about this. So you know how Gruden is real hands-on, but I think he's old school. So they had the worst pick in the first round. And a lot of people joke, and I kind of felt the same way. We don't know, like in these war rooms, like who's doing what. Is it an equally equal to come to this decision between the coach and the GM. But
Right.
people are saying if you look at Mayock, Gregory, Gruden, they're saying Gruden, they agree, Gruden, you make the first pick. Because after that, the Raiders did have a solid draft. Now we'll see how it pans out. But on paper, like they took the safety we wanted in the second round. They jumped above us and they got that good safety. People saying Gruden made that first pick, right? And then Mayock jumped in and did the rest and made some good picks. So I don't know if that was the agreement, but that's kind of how it looked to me.
But
that's what I said that a couple of years ago. I said you could kind of tell, especially when he picked Clinton Farrell.
Sometimes you can't agree on the player, and I've done that, like just not on, obviously on a lower level.
But if y'all ever get a chance to go back and watch this Hard Knocks, I'm kind of a Hard Knocks junkie.
But no, sometimes if you don't agree, then you're like, okay, well you pick, and then I'll make the next pick. If we can't agree here, it's easier that way.
You ever get a chance to go back and watch the Hard Knocks with the Raiders on there? You can see Mike Mayock's guys. He goes, he talks to his guys. He happy to see him. He didn't have that many conversations with the guys he didn't draft.
Right.
You can see that on that Hard Knocks. That's what made me really believe that, okay, this is John Gruden making these first picks, and the rest of them Mike Mayock is cleaning up in the back end. But
that's what I.
But you do realize that Gruden has power over Mayock.
Yeah. Right. Gruden hired Mayock.
Right.
Hey, and he's making more money.
Yeah. Gruden hired Mayock, which was a great hire, and that's one of the reasons why I said Mel Kiper should be hired. A lot of people said no. I'm like,
I remember this like it was yesterday because when he got hired, man, Dennis was talking about it. We were like, why you gonna get him? And you got all these people that in the NFL that got their experience.
Yeah, but you gotta. They always say that the GM head coach combination got to be like this.
But if you talk to each other and you to build a relationship, it will be like that.
Not everybody gonna be like that. But see, Gruden and Mayock was already tight before Gruden even got the job. They was already tight. They've been tight since the early 2000s.
Okay.
That was the difference on that. So what's the next one?
Is Jalen Ramsey a top corner in the NFL?
Yeah, he's number one.
Number one.
Why I said this, because the other day, I forgot what I was watching, some kind of ESPN. That was like he's number 5 corner in the NFL. I like, y'all lost y'all mind. Y'all really lost it.
I mean, he had a minute when he got too arrogant in Jacksonville because he got that publicity and he started talking about every quarterback in the NFL. And then Jacksonville had a terrible season that next season after they had that run.
That ain't had nothing to do with him.
No. Let me get to my point. But I'm saying, so then he had a troubled year. He kind of was getting burnt a little bit. I mean, it was in his head. But what I'm saying is, at that point, that 1 to 2 year moment before he went to the Rams, he kind of fell off a little bit, and people were then saying that. But now,
he fall off.
He had a bad year in Jacksonville before he left.
He didn't have a bad year.
He did not have a bad year because
they played more cover 3 than man coverage.
I don't care.
What messed him up? He started talking junk in the
right. That's what I'm saying.
No, that did not mess him up.
In my opinion, that's what happened.
Time out.
In my opinion,
what football y'all are watching?
NFL,
he's been talking
brother.
junk since he's been
no
in
fun league.
I'm just trying to figure, what are y'all watching? This dude has been a number 1 corner for a couple years.
Not that year when they fell off when they were favorites. He did not have a good year.
No, they fell off because they get quarterback playing court up.
I'm not saying he's the reason they didn't win, but I'm saying they disappointed. He was running his mouth, and he didn't have an all-pro year that year.
He's not going.
Who was that, 2019? That was 2000.
No, I think it was even before that.
I think it was what?
They went to the championship
18?
game. Whatever year it was, the year after that.
He's been in the league 6 years.
Yeah. So it might have been the 3rd year. So I think the rookie year, that was cool. I think it was the 2nd year they blew up and they beat in New England, I think, in the playoffs, or either they got to New England in the championship game.
It wasn't his 3rd year. It was the 4th year.
It was the 4th year. I told you, I don't know the year.
What you consider a down year. I don't consider it a down year. He's a corner. This is what's going to happen. Like, I don't understand.
Nah, but when you run in your mouth and you all in the news for not football reasons.
He went to GQ magazine. They asked him questions. he said that Josh Allen was trash.
He talked about everybody.
Yeah, he talked, but his quarterback.
He actually didn't talk bad about Dak. He said Dak was all right, I think.
His quarterback was dumpster juice.
Right. He talked about everybody but his quarterback.
But we ain't heard. But after that happened and they fell off, his mouth been shut.
But the whole Jacksonville fell off. That's what I'm trying to say. Like his
I know. I agree.
The whole like nobody looked at like okay to put it like this, Czar. Nobody look at Yama Ngakoue the same no more. Nobody look at Calais Campbell the same no more. Nobody is looking at the Bull Smith, the middle linebacker for Jacksonville. Nobody is looking at none of that defense the same no more after they did not make it to the championship game. I can say the same for Minnesota. Minnesota was another team that lost in the championship game. And then they went and got Kirk Cousins, and everybody said, they got the better quarterback. They should win it now. But they didn't get the better quarterback because he wasn't that guy.
Right. They should have stayed with the quarterback
they had and saved the money.
And you could have beef up the defense and the offensive line.
The year Czar talking about was 2017, but he's been stellar since.
Yes,
but he's been stellar since though. Stellar. I mean, there's nobody touching him. Talking shit or not, nobody's touching him right now.
I like the guy in Green Bay is pretty close, but Ramsey is one.
Who? Jair, what's his name or something?
I like him number 2.
Well, I don't think he's close. I think he's number 2, but I don't think he's necessarily close, like breathing down his neck or anything.
He's a really good dude.
He's good.
Jalen Ramsey up here and like a big old drop.
Nah, it ain't a big old drop.
Yeah, a big old drop.
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's a big drop because I think the guy that's trying to get traded from the Dolphins right now, he was up for Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
So I don't think it's a big old drop. I just think,
but even Buck Flair said it. Jalen been top cornerback last 3 years.
But exactly. The other day,
he focused and got his shit together.
The other day I seen that, I was like, these people really lost their mind.
Well, no, they just had other cornerbacks that they felt as though was better.
But
some people see the game differently than others.
There's some people that got like Gilmore one. And
some people think Gilmore's still the best corner.
Who's been the top corner?
No, but some people think that
you just look at who been the top corner.
I told you who I think the top corner. I said everybody look at the game differently. And there's some people out there that can talk to you and manipulate you and make you think certain people are better than what they are.
But he got the stats. Ain't nobody throwing over to his side.
Sometimes it really ain't about stats with corners, though. It's a little different. Like Dennis said, it's how you.
I said ain't no touchdown get thrown.
Sometimes you don't get interceptions because they don't throw the ball your way. They don't make you look bad because you only got. Yeah, that was happening with Deion sometimes.
Patrick Peterson was the man for a while.
Right. Then he fell off.
What's the next
question? What NFL team will have the best corners in the NFL this year?
Denver Broncos.
I'm still going with the Baltimore Ravens.
The Ravens have a couple, but y'all sleeping on them Patriots too. I hate to say it.
Oh, that's my number one defense. I just think Denver got better, a little bit better secondary. New England's gonna have a better overall defense though than Denver to me.
I think he getting traded. That's why I ain't say him.
Who?
Gilmore?
Yeah, I think Gilmore getting traded.
We was in the rumors for a minute, but it didn't happen.
It's still in there.
They might mess around and trade Gilmore for Xavier Howard.
They were talking about him for Gallup or Cooper. But
I doubt they do that.
That would have helped both teams.
That would be the Patriot way.
My next question. What college coach needs to come to the NBA?
None of them.
Guru?
You talk about, you said in college, what college coach should be coming to the NBA?
Mm-hmm.
I think the guy is going to be Penny Hardaway. He just recently went out and hired Larry Brown as his assistant. So there was rumors that he was in line to get the Orlando job. So I think Penny is that next college coach that's going to make that transition to the NBA. And I'm interested to see what he can do.
When you say Larry Brown, you mean the Larry Brown?
The Larry Brown.
You're Larry Brown.
My Larry Brown,
Right.
Coach Brown?
You're Larry Brown. Is part
Larry
of his
Brown
coaching staff at Memphis. Yes.
I do have to admit, when I went
Larry
to
Brown
Memphis,
that I love. I love
Penny
Larry Brown.
Hardaway is the man in Memphis. I do have to admit that. There's kids out there that be like, yeah, I'm thinking about going to Memphis. Like, you know, I was at that Allen Iverson Classic game that was in Memphis, and it's a lot of people that they really want to go to Memphis, and I'd be like, it'd be, you know.
Because Penny's there.
Like,
That's
the
it.
only thing I can think of. Yeah,
He's a damn good coach. But I just feel like certain college coaches need to stay in college because the college players need them. That's why I say that. It's not that I don't. It's for me. It's not that I don't think that they should go to the NBA because I don't think they could make it. I just think college players need good, strong, you know, caring basketball coaches that can really develop them and, you know, be there for them.
Right. Now, there's one guy that I think that should leave. Y'all might not agree with this because he already.
What you say?
There's one guy I think that should leave, but you might not agree with this because he already had his chance in the NBA, and that's Calipari.
Hell no.
I think he should go.
Terrible.
But you know, you know how many years ago that was that he tried it the first time? That's so many years ago.
He's a great recruiter. He is not a great coach.
I mean, he's changed and he's developed, and sure, I think he should try it again.
He is not a great coach.
But I think he needs. I think he needs to stay there.
He was at Memphis, and then he went to
Kentucky.
No, I thought he went somewhere else. Then he went to Kentucky.
Who, Calipari?
He did.
Calipari was with UMass.
UMass. No, he started at UMass.
Right. UMass.
He went to an NBA team, and then
Memphis.
He went back to
Memphis. He went to the Nets.
The Nets.
Okay.
So
he went to UMass and the Nets. No, he's at Kentucky. No, go ahead.
I don't really think any should, but I mean, yeah, you know, you can name like Penny. I mean, even Juwan Howard. You know, player coaches that played in the league. You know, kid now. You know that I can kind of see that those ex NBA players. You know that can bond with these players and they're familiar. But I'm just gonna go off great college coaches that I think not all great college coaches have the personality to go up. So like I wouldn't say like a Boeheim. I don't think he should go to the NBA, but he's a great college coach. But someone like Jay Wright for Villanova or Bill Self for Kansas. Those are like people type, like their personalities are a little different than like a Calhoun who recently I think just retired. But like Boeheim was one when I was younger. Like this dude should go to the pros and it was good, but as I got older, I can see why he hasn't. But if I was to see one, it would definitely be Jay Wright for Villanova or Bill Self.
What about the point guard used to play for San Antonio?
Tony Parker.
He's in Alabama now.
You talking about he ain't even at
Avery
Alabama
Johnson?
anymore.
Oh, you talking about Avery Johnson?
Yeah. He was at Alabama.
Yeah, that was his last head coaching job at Alabama. Right. He should have been offered a role back in the NBA again. I don't know. That's who I always think of when the question comes up and everybody's screaming Mark Jackson. I'm screaming Avery Johnson all the time. So.
But they blackmailed him too.
I thought maybe he would have got the job in San Antonio first. Because he learned and played the game with his head coach. He learned the game from him.
Actually, he was on the Spurs, and then he went to the Warriors and flourished. And you know they used him the right way, and he had a really good year or two with the Warriors. And he went back to the Spurs, and they used him right as far as him as a player. I remember that because he left, balled out, and then went back.
But I'm talking about just teaching him the game.
I don't know.
Okay. What do you think?
Let me read these comments. Um, Buck Flair said Shaka Smart should be 2, as well as Jawan Howard. And then Jonathan Benton said, I agree with Buck. Jawan Howard would do well. Buck Flair said Patrick Ewing was dissed in his opinion. He also said Dennis wants Calipari in Oklahoma, LOL. Jay Jones said Tom Izzo. Jonathan Benton said Jay Wright won't leave his kingdom at Villanova. Buck Flair said Avery been a coach. Yes, we know, Buck. And then he called me Avery Mullen. And then he said, let Latrell Sprewell come back and coach. And I say no to that. Hell no.
Why? Somebody choke his ass out. It'd be fucking, it's karma like a motherfucker.
They're going to be fighting if they try.
He'll be choking himself.
Choke his ass
time is yeah, but those are all the comments.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Number 8. Do you think the Greek Freak is a better basketball player than Kevin Durant, since he has not taken an NBA team by himself to the finals and win it?
Oh yeah,
No.
By himself.
No.
No, he's not better than Kevin Durant. He didn't take no team to an NBA championship by himself.
Wait, I messed up because I wrote this before I did my research. I know why you look at me like that, Dylan.
I didn't say nothing.
They did go to the finals, but they did not win it. They went to the finals against the Miami Heat that year. But once
wait. No, they did not.
You want back?
The first year.
Do you want the back? Do you want?
Oh, they talking about no. They talking about Milwaukee. You said the Heat.
Yeah, he said he talking about.
Oh, my bad. No. I thought you said Milwaukee. No, I got you.
Said Oklahoma.
In 2012, yeah, they went to the finals. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What you got to say, Guru? You ain't said nothing. I'm starting to think that you think
he was just
Guru.
He was just waiting for his turn. That's all.
I got to hear his answer.
No, that's a little convoluted a little bit, but I'm gonna just support my man Ron and just leave it alone.
No, I made this question just for you. just for me. Yeah, just for you.
You're the man, brother.
I told you I was gonna get you. I told you I was gonna get you.
I'm gonna serve it for you. You ready?
Well, the answer is no. If he ain't gonna tell you, I'll tell you the answer is no. He's a great player, but he ain't better than KD.
You don't think the Greek Freak better than KD?
No.
Well, I would say this. I think right now he's shown himself to be a better leader than KD.
That may be true.
Is the skill set necessarily better than KD? Probably not, because KD has got one of the great skill sets. But sometimes it's more than your skill set that leads you to win or lose a championship. So, right now, the Greek Freak is feeling himself because, he said, people didn't do it his way, and, his way is the best way, and he stayed with his team. But you know what? We'll find out next year, because a lot of people feel the Nets was the team to beat, and then they got hurt. You can't say that 2 years in a row. If he comes out of the East, if he comes out of the East again, KD got to shut the hell up. Harden got to shut the hell up. So does what's his name?
Kyrie.
Mighty Mouse, I like to call him. So
Davis Stoudemire?
No, man. Kyrie, fool.
Kyrie.
That's the real Davis. That's the real Mighty Mouse. I ain't heard that name in a minute.
Isaiah, they used to call him Mighty Mouse too. So
there's
a lot of Mighty Mouse out there. But
Isaiah drafted David Stoudemire too for Toronto.
We'll see. What happens in the future. I'm not a big KD fan. I like what he did so far in the Olympics after he got off to a terrible start. So let's see him, get the Olympics home, because the Americans should win the championship. They got the best talent. There's no way that they shouldn't win and take home the gold. But it's going to be interesting, man. It's really going to be interesting. I do think that Giannis he was playing on a tremendously high level. So I got to give him that because I've never been a big Giannis fan. I always thought he had flaws in his game, but he was playing on some level in those finals. And I gotta give him credit, man. I gotta give him credit. You know, I've never seen KD ever take a team on his back the way he did.
Right.
No, I've never seen him do that.
And that's all I'm trying to say. Giannis put the team on his back and was like, give me the ball. I got this. I'm finna take us to the finish line. KD never did that in Oklahoma.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
He never did that.
He always got this issue about, well, should he lead or should he, be the man? And Giannis was the man. Give him credit. I gotta give him credit on that level. Is he a better all-around player? And another thing, I thought Giannis was a little bit lacking in terms of, wanting to check KD. Why he let Middleton do that. Yeah. But you know what? Right now, to the victors go the spoils. So Giannis, he dancing in the streets, talk about family. His family is more important. Blah, 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 blah. He got a beautiful wife, beautiful child. So, hey, man, right now he's riding high, man. I ain't taking nothing away from him. But one thing I know, this NBA season is going to turn. It's coming real quick. It's not the fastest turnaround the bubble was. But, man, before we know it, man, I'm going to have to, decide if I want to get that Sunday ticket. Excuse me, not the NBA League Pass, or if I want to go the new wave, so to speak. Okay. So we'll see.
Go to new wave. It's only $9 a month. We got you over here playing on work.
What you think, baby? The red zone.
Czar was over here. He was hating at first. He ain't believe it.
Hating and debating for so long.
Hey,
I believe KD is the better all around talent, and most definitely. No.
Okay.
But with the things that Giannis did this year,
I gotta read this comment.
Hold on.
Yeah, I was trying to read it, but
my bad, son.
That's all right.
The things that Giannis did this year was unbelievable. I didn't think that they was gonna do it this year. I thought Milwaukee was dead in the water. Like they was just gonna be they was gonna be like Toronto before they got Kawhi Leonard. It was always gonna be relevant in the season.
So you think they were gonna be like right here?
Yeah, like Toronto was. Toronto was the number 1 seed like 2 years in a row. I think it was
3 years.
But they ain't never make it. They ain't never make it to the finals.
Right.
And they won coach of the year and got fired the same year. That's just to let you know. But yeah, you go to the last. Let's get the last question out so we can read these comments.
Should a NFL team give Chad Johnson a chance?
A chance to what? Be a motivator?
Because of the assault on his ex-wife. The supposed assault. I didn't see.
Wait a minute. How many people in trouble that in the NFL right now?
That headbutted their ex-wife? I don't know.
But what I'm saying, a lot of people got in trouble and they still is in the NFL.
Yeah, but like we said, you can't put everything in one basket. It depends on what trouble it is.
Wait a minute. The coach owner was drinking and driving, right?
Yeah, that don't mean
okay.
I don't mean
Wait a minute. I mean nothing else. What you call
DUI and hitting a woman?
The wide receiver Stallworth, he used to play for the Saints and the Eagles and the Patriots.
You see what happened to Ray Rice?
But what I said
Dante Stallworth, not Dante. Is it Dante? Yeah, Dante Stallworth. He was drink driving to kill somebody.
Right. And
they suspended his license and his ass was still playing football.
Okay. So why don't somebody give this man a chance? He's not asking for a bit money.
First of all, he ain't good no more.
They don't believe that he deserved to play in the league no more. And one of his best friends is Roger Goodell. Now let that sink in.
This man to teach wide receivers. Yes or no?
Maybe so, man. I'm not sure.
No, he don't deserve nothing.
I'm not saying he don't deserve it, but he ain't gonna get it.
I ain't gonna say he doesn't deserve it, but
I'm just saying he ain't gonna get it.
I just said give the man a chance. He cannot hurt nothing. He is a good teacher.
That ain't what they thinking about. They saying, what can he help?
He didn't have some.
Oh, he did. He brought distractions to the
So if
team.
you a GM of Atlanta, you taking him?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
But I'm okay. Well, if that's the case, why don't they just hire him on the coaching staff? Why does he have to be hired? Why does he have to be hired as a player?
But he
Hey,
ain't nobody.
I said
coaching.
in the NFL. I did not
Yeah.
say where in the NFL.
I don't think he's good enough to play in the NFL no more.
Well, then hire him on
Well,
the coaching staff.
Right. Give
Des
him a chance.
Bryant is still way better than him right now, and he's having a hard time.
Look,
making it.
I don't care
I
who's
don't think
better
Des
than
Bryant better
who.
than Ocho
That's
Cinco.
not my
Right
question.
now,
I don't think Des Bryant was ever better than Ocho Cinco.
That's not my question. My
Okay.
question was give this man a chance in the NFL. That was my question.
Does he want to coach?
Yes.
He wants to coach.
Yes. This
I don't
man,
know that. You don't know
this
that.
man
Man.
said, basically, this man said, look, oh, I just want a place to live and a car. That's it. That's all he asking for. He not asking for no $50 million, a place to live. You just put him in an apartment and a car.
It's called Madden, Guru. It ain't called NFL 2K. It's called Madden.
Oh man.
Well, then what? He needs to go ahead and develop relationships with the coaches and interview when these positions are open, just like anybody else. Well, now what I'm not.
One of his
I'm
best
not
friends is
gonna say-
Roger Goodell.
What I'm not right, and what I'm not going to say is because he is Ocho Cinco that he deserves to just be given a job.
Right.
No,
I'm not
Yeah,
So-
but he does have a job as a ratings
that.
adjuster in the or whatever they
Yeah.
call it in the NFL when this what you call it, Madden.
Man.
He was on First Take last week. And he was really happy in terms of, you know, his job and his responsibility of showing these wide receivers why they didn't get whatever 99 rating or whatever. So he's doing pretty good with that. I mean,
I'm just answering based upon what Ron said that he
Right.
said he want to coach. So
This
I'm saying
what-
if he wants to coach, then he needs to go after the job just like anybody else does,
That's
trying
what
to
he
get
said
on
a
his
couple
coaching staff.
weeks ago.
Okay,
That's what
well
he
then,
said.
well, you know,
I
he'd
don't
be
think
all
it-
over the place.
but I don't think anybody is keeping him from being a coach. Has he
Right.
applied?
Because I truly believe if
Did he
went to
interview?
Deion-
I
if he
mean,
went to
you
Deion
know,
Sanders and asked to be a coach, Deion would let him be a coach.
Because
I'm sure
I look at if Adam Gates or all coaches had a job with
Well,
two
he
But
got
you,
the
teams,
but you,
He got
But
the
you
right
know what that's
complexion
all
for
about.
the
wait a minute, with
For
two
the-
teams, and you tell me he better thinking wise better than Ted
but he got the
Johnson?
right
No.
complexion for the connection. And
Okay,
you gotta
then.
remember,
I-
offensive coordinators get love off of their one glorious season.
Now,
I keep telling you this.
okay,
Adam Gase will get another job before Rex Ryan will.
okay.
And Rex Ryan has done more as a head coach than Adam Gase has ever done.
All right, say that again.
but also
what you
Rex
just
Ryan
said.
has failed a couple of different places too.
He only failed in two places.
Okay, well,
Where
you want
Adam Gase hasn't succeeded nowhere.
Nowhere,
True.
So which one you go? He ain't succeeded nowhere.
nowhere,
Nowhere. We
You're
both
100%
talk about.
right.
Hey, Guru, I got one for you. We both coached for the Jets, and I took the Jets to the biggest shit they ever seen in the last time they've been there. Let that sink in for a minute.
nowhere.
I
agree
took the
that-
Jets to 2 AFC Championship games with a quarterback named Butt Fumble. Let that sink in. But people tell me I can't coach. Then what the fuck was I doing? And I was playing checkers?
But then what happened when you went to Buffalo though?
It's
sound like-
Buffalo. What's supposed to happen in Buffalo? When
Well,
last time
they-
you said you going to Buffalo?
well, they just came off a pretty successful season. didn't they?
Right. So it's Buffalo.
But
I'm telling you, it's one. But okay, besides
Right,
Josh
yeah.
Allen, who
Well,
I
why
think
don't
did a
you, why
great.
don't you do this?
Hold on,
Why
I'm gonna
don't
say
you do
this. I'm gonna say
Dennis?
this.
Why don't you go into your alter ego and do a because I haven't seen him in a while. He might have got fired from ESPN, your boy. So I don't know. He gets himself.
Oh,
in
he only
trouble
come
a
around
whole
on
lot of-
football season. That's all.
Oh, he'll be back. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Because most of those guys they year round and they somehow they get on the the gravy train some way or another. So the bottom line is, let's see. Why don't you do your alter ego just like you do your man in Philadelphia? You might want to do a Rex Ryan impersonation because I'd like to ask him about those toes with his wife if you don't mind.
I don't know nothing about that.
Now,
Anyway,
let's get back to the question.
no, let me just say this.
It's
It's Buffalo.
9:30.
Let me break this down to you before you go, Guru. It's Buffalo, right? Buffalo ain't had a good quarterback since Jim Kelly to Josh Allen. That's about 23 years. I'm going to put it around somewhere around there, 20, 23 years. I don't have the exact numbers. Don't nobody from Buffalo come attacking me. Just listen to what I'm saying. The next time you make the playoffs is because of a quarterback I recruited from Baltimore who went to Virginia Tech. That's the one that took you to the playoffs. But yet, again, I can't coach. That's what I keep saying. I can't coach.
But
Rex Ryan ain't a coach. He's a defensive coordinator.
but
That's
what
the same guy took the Jets to the AFC Championship game. They ain't been to the AFC Championship game since they had Joe Willie Namath.
I'm saying is,
I can't coach.
but what I'm
I
saying
can't
this,
be a coach in the NFL.
this man,
That's what people are saying. I think that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, Guru. As I'm just telling you. And you live
I
in New York
agree.
City. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Oh, he
I
went to
figured
Buffalo,
so
he
too.
failed. Well, who the fuck succeeded in Buffalo? Besides the guy that took him to 4 AFC Championship games. Who the hell succeeded before then? Nobody. Buffalo was where fucking coaches went to die. It just is what it is.
The bottom line, he's got to put the work in. If he wants to want to coach, he got to go after it. Nobody's keeping him from coaching.
and
Is that all the questions?
no, I got two more.
It's 9:33.
All right.
We
I'll
got
wait
like
till
5
next-
subjects to
I
go.
thought you
wait
had 9
till next
questions. I
week.
didn't know you had 11. Dang.
I told you I got 11, player. I'll be.
All right, well, go ahead. We didn't get to them last time.
All right.
We
What
can get to these lists next week.
NBA
We're gonna have
team
to
got
go
better?
after this.
What NBA team got better in the free agent so far?
That's an easy ass question, but I'll let them two answer since they here.
3.
Oh, my fault.
Them
3.
two.
Let them 3 answer.
Them two.
Yeah, let them 3 answer.
Why don't you answer? How about that?
That ain't my team. That's why I
You
answer.
still know the answer.
Y'all got it. It's y'all question. This question was for y'all.
Sports, you.
Well, Miami got a little better. Kyle Lowry, that's a good move. Obviously, my Lakers got better. And I think the Bulls got better. But like I said, I just don't believe in the coach. And ultimately, the coach will have a say-so on whether the team is successful or not. And if they don't go to the playoffs, somebody's going to have to answer for that because Chicago certainly upgraded their talent.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Sure.
sure is good at now.
Yeah, I think the Lakers got better. Chicago got better. Miami got better. I don't believe that. I think Portland took a huge step back so far, and so has Detroit. But Detroit was already garbage, but they're even more garbage. They just added another layer of garbage on top of the garbage, so they haven't improved. And then, and where did Andre go? Drummond.
The
Philadelphia.
76ers. Philly.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely did not get better with his addition. But I'm really excited about Chicago. I think even more so than the Lakers, even though the Lakers is my team, I believe Chicago's in a greater position. In other words, Chicago got more better or improved more than the Lakers did. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying
I thought you was about to say Mo Better Blues, girl.
their progression was better from the free agency so far.
Look. Okay. My next question. Is the Lakers the team to come out of the West since they got Russell Westbrook and Dwight Howard?
L.A. Westbrook
And Melo.
And
Let
Melo.
Melo all out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is they the team to beat in the West?
Yeah, they're the team to beat. They're the team to beat so far, but you always got to keep that eye out on Golden State Warriors, though.
Right.
I will never sleep on the Warriors. Not right now. Not as long as Steph and Clay and Dre are there. I'm not gonna sleep on the Warriors.
I got the Nuggets.
Sports
I'm not
Guru.
worried. I'm not worried about the Nuggets at all. Mm-mm.
Back, Guru.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Sports Guru. You got it.
What's your thoughts on who's?
No, I already said. I said that obviously I'm very happy with the Lakers. I look at the shooting percentages of a lot of these guys. Even a guy like Bazemore, who I didn't even think was a really good 3-point shooter, he shot over 40% from three. And last year, like I said, the kid, what's his name? I looked at his shooting percentage, and he didn't shoot that well. And then he didn't shoot that well during the season. Wes Matthews Jr. And a lot of times you know, the water will seek its level. The kid Ellington is like a 44% shooter from downtown. I mean, that's all LeBron James needs is guys to hit open shots. The kid Monk, who's always been, I thought he was really good out of Kentucky. I was really waiting for him to really take off. And then all of a sudden, like I said, he had some sort of drug issue. I'm not sure why he missed almost a year, it seemed. So, that's another outstanding pickup. So the Lakers just, and my biggest thing was, Howard, in terms of, the low post defense that he, the rim protection that he provides. Because, AD doesn't necessarily want to play, exclusively at the 5. So that's a big position. And then, I heard some fools saying that Kuzma and the other clown, no, well, he's not a clown. I like, what's his name? Caruso. I'm sad to see him go because he was a player who I like. I just like his style. Okay. I like the fact that in the bubble, he missed his sister's wedding to go and play in the bubble. That's how dedicated he was. So you always want cats like him, but he's not a good defensive player. He was a good help defender. He got a lot of steals, but he couldn't guard his man one-on-one. That's a fact. I watched it. I know it. I know basketball to that level. And like I said, he's a good glue player. He was, and he wasn't, I was surprised to see that he shot 40% from three because he couldn't last year. At times he couldn't buy a 3-pointer. So I think I saw somewhere that he must, I find that number to be a little high for him. I have to, double check on that. But no, they improved on defense. And also another thing they did, they got dogs. They got dogs. The kid, what's his name? He's a dog. LeBron James, the Bazemore is a dog. The other kid, the cat from who they got for the second time, he's a dog. That's what I liked about a lot of those moves. And that, and the fact, Ariza, thank you. He's a dog. Well, that's all right. You might have a dog in Lonzo, okay? Because to let him walk out of the team, basically with no compensation, a second-round pick tells you they didn't want him, and it wasn't because of his father. So be careful. Like I said, and nobody really wanted what's his name, DeRozan either. DeRozan couldn't even find a home. The Lakers, he begged to come to the Lakers. Lakers said no thanks because he's one of those. He shot 20. I think he shot 21% from 3-point.
Killing me, man.
He shot 21% from 3-point range. Look it up.
You're dead wrong about DeRozan.
No, I like
Lakers
DeRozan.
ain't got no money to pay him even a third. I like DeRozan,
but I'm just telling you, there's a flip side to why people didn't want him. The man can't shoot from 3.
Well, let the season play. I know you think the Lakers is gonna go 74-8. We're gonna let the season come out. We're gonna see what happens.
That's you talking silly.
And I'm gonna remember all this talk.
But I like what I see.
Lakers made all the great best moves. We're gonna wait and see.
They made some good moves. They made some good. They combined youth with some experience, and usually experience does win championships because a lot of times these young cats are not ready to make those sacrifices.
We're gonna see.
I can't think of the cat 2 years ago. He gave up like $50 million. His wife probably shot him in the head at some point just to try to get a run for a championship. I'm trying to think who that cat was. But that's what veterans do sometimes. They will sacrifice.
No, they're chasing a ring is what they do.
Well, that's part of life. Yeah, chasing those rings. A lot of them will.
Dennis,
That's because
that's my
that's what
last question.
when you've made the money. That's what you want to be about. You want to be about that ring, because it's only so much money you can have in the bank. When you got money. When you don't have money, that's different.
Decision.
When you don't have money, that's different.
Hey, it's chip or bust. So it's either chip or bust. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that's what they said about That's what they said about Brooklyn, and I guess they bust last year, right?
Yeah, they bust. LA, chip or bust. Hey, Brooklyn, chip or bust again this year.
I think Brooklyn will make it to the playoffs, but after that, I don't think.
If you look at the odds, it's easily supposed to be Brooklyn and LA is based on odds right now.
But we seen.
I don't personally think is 100% LA.
But we seen.
I believe LA got a fighting chance though, but I don't believe it's 100% LA.
Oh no, I don't think they're gonna win the title. I'm just saying, but it's chip or
coming
bust.
out the West. I ain't talking
I don't know
about coming out.
I'm just talking
I don't like this
West.
team. I don't like the pieces I don't like Westbrook. I mean, we talked about it. Sharon warmed up to it. She said, which is fine. She looked into it. She said they had a conversation. It's just me, like not hating because, we've seen super teams. Some look good, some of the right pieces. I just think that Westbrook's not a good fit. Then they're hiring all these old veterans and we'll just see how it falls. We can keep talking about it, but we're going to see at some point.
That's why we got a show.
I love it. I love it. That's why I'm here. But I'm saying, but we can keep talking, but we gonna see. I don't. Usually there's times because I don't want the Lakers win a lot. Obviously I give them their props, and I don't like seeing them win. And usually I'm like, damn, here we go. I don't have that feeling in my bones where I'm like hella scared and like they just gonna go. I don't feel great. I feel better this year because I don't really like all of what they've done. I don't think it's gonna work that great. So that's what I'm saying. When usually I'm like, damn, here they go, Lakers again. Blah, blah, blah. They about to do their thing.
Well, here's a reason why I warmed up to the idea of Westbrook being there because of things that happened not only before, but if you look at these stats, I think Dennis might have mentioned some of this. Carmelo shoots 40.9% from the three. Trevor Ariza shoots 35% from the three. Kent Bazemore, 40.8 from the three. Wayne Ellington, 42.2 from the three. Malik Monk, 40.1% from the three. So those dudes right there are going to be critical for spacing. They're going to space the floor, and that way AD, LeBron, and Russell can do their work. They can go to work because they're going to be spacing the floor because Bruss can shoot. And that's what I said before, earlier in the day. I said, well, yeah, this is cool, but they need shooters. That's what I was saying. They need some shooters. So now they got some shooters. So what they need now are two players, at least two, that can play, that are great on both sides of the ball. You got to have at least two players that are good on both sides of the ball. If you're going to have all these shooters, and then you got all these other players that are just superstars, but they're old. You need what I'm saying. They have a couple spaces left, I think, or are they done? I think they have room for two more players.
Well, a couple more spaces.
I think they have room for two more players. So it needs to be a player that's pretty good on both sides of the ball. That's all I'm saying.
The one shoe that didn't drop, Sharon, is the Schroeder, because remember he turned down, I believe, $100 million. And he's still not signed.
Right, he's not.
Well, I don't think they're going to try to sign him.
No, they
I know,
can't.
but they could. But what they want to do is get a sign and trade.
Right.
Okay. So,
right.
So that.
But whoever they get to come needs to be somebody that can play some defense.
Two-way player.
Yeah, they need two two-way players. You got to have at least one, but I say at least two. If you're hoping to.
I'll settle for Buddy Hill, to be honest with you.
I mean, that's what I wanted.
If they can get Buddy Hill, that's a hell of a move.
If we get Buddy Hill, we're coming out the West, and that's it.
If y'all get the Bohemian, I might have to agree with you.
His name been popping up for y'all.
And
that will be the best move to me if y'all get Buddy Hill.
They get Buddy the Bohemian? Oh,
I'm a big Buddy fan. Yeah.
For the last 3 days, his name been popping up.
But Sacramento
Yeah.
don't need Schroeder though.
But
No, but that's why you need a three-way.
Oh, okay.
That's why you need to sign and trade, right? Mm-hmm.
so
Because so for whatever reason, I don't know why. I guess because of that cat that they signed this year, who played pretty good for Sacramento. What's his name? He played very well. That for some reason they don't want Buddy Hield. They want to get
Are you
rid of
talking
him.
about the rookie that they drafted was really
Right.
good. Yeah.
Right, and then they have the other cat. So they have those
De'Aaron Fox.
Right. So really, Buddy Hield's expendable,
mhm.
and he's got I think he makes pretty good money. So that's why Sacramento, they don't really want to spend that much.
They don't want to
Anybody.
keep, the reason they don't want to keep Buddy is about money. It's not about him. They
But
value
but
him, but
that
they don't
rookie
want,
that they got,
it's the money they want to get rid of.
That rookie
Right, it's the
that-
money,
he
but
not a
they
rookie
also
no
wanna
more,
make
but the
money.
guy that they got, he played both sides of the ball. That ball actually pretty good.
Right. That's another reason they don't think Buddy plays defense.
Yeah.
And I think he
That-
would
that
be the
hurt.
best. And I think he would be the best shooter on your team if you got him. In my opinion,
Buddy.
he's a marksman
But the
to
Bohemian,
me.
Buddy
Right,
the
but
Bohemian.
he can't. He's not perfect. He don't play no
No,
defense.
no. He's not perfect. Not perfect. But I'm just saying you don't need perfect. But I'm saying that would be
That's
a hell
true.
of a pickup.
I don't know how much defense Ray Allen played either. To be honest with you.
Ray Allen played
When he was in his prime, he hustled. He
Wait.
tried to play. He went
Ray
to
Allen played
When he
defense.
played with LeBron, he wasn't in his
When-
prime.
Well, he was past
When
his
he-
prime.
when-
He was
when-
with
when
LeBron.
he-
LeBron,
When
yeah.
he was with the Bucks in Seattle, he played good
Right.
defense.
Yeah.
He was a
played
baller.
defense then.
He
He was a
past his
baller.
prime in Miami. He was a 3-point specialist with Miami.
Absolutely.
Right.
But
But before
No,
that,
my
he played
cousin.
that.
Saved
Yeah,
LeBron's ass.
So we only got 13 minutes. So what we gonna do, boss? What we gonna do, boss?
I think
Olympics?
we should do this Olympic moment.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think we should do this Olympic moment. We'll say the list for next week.
All right.
Man, so Ryan, what's your Olympic moment, Ryan?
when Vince Carter dunked over the 7-footer, I lost my mind. I was like, oh my God.
That's where it went. That's okay. I was
You be
wondering where
quiet.
your mind was at.
What?
But anyway, when he did that, that took that team over. I mean, they had Kobe, the late, great Kobe Bryant, that had so many Hall of Famers on that team, but it just took that team to the next level.
What was that, Dream Team 2?
No.
No?
That was the 2000 team.
That's
Right.
Dream. Oh, Dream Team 2 was 96. You're right.
Man, that had Kobe Bryant, that had Kevin Garnett, Vince
Was
Carter.
did Iverson play?
Iverson played number 4.
Right. That Carmelo, is that the year that had
Carmelo.
Carmelo. Carmelo
thought
wasn't no
that-
damn
Carmelo
NBA.
played that year.
My bad. I can't admit it.
That's 2000 and maybe 4 if
Okay.
he was on that team.
Well, the year Vince Carter did that.
I know Carmelo was on 08.
What you got, Guru?
Oh, what's the question?
Your favorite Olympic moment?
In history.
I like the moment when I guess I don't know when LeBron and them with Krzyzewski came back and they reclaimed the NBA dominance against Spain, I believe it was. I enjoyed that. I like that team. I like the fact Krzyzewski, who's not a perfect coach. A lot of people try to act like he's perfect, but he's not. But I like the resiliency that he has as a coach, and I think he also was one of the guys who did it best in terms of being a good college coach and also being able to deal with the NBA player. So I have a lot of respect for Coach K on that level, and I think he really did a good job with that team. That Kobe, who I've never been a big Kobe fan, although I when he died, it really touched me to the point where I was almost distraught in terms of my emotions. But Kobe, was able to hit some big shots in that final game, that closeout game with a gold medal. And I love the way that Kobe took over in that spot. A lot of people think he played, big time. No, he really didn't. But in that big spot, he did show why people love him, the Black Mamba, all the different adjectives they have to describe him. And he really did come up big in terms of being able to go for the juggler, because that's what Kobe was about. Kobe had that mentality. Kobe, he wasn't a perfect player by any stretch of the imagination, but he had a mentality. He had a mentality that makes him one of the greatest players of all time, and I respect him for that. And he's so missed, because he even his life wasn't perfect. What he did with his mother and Jelly Bean with the house, I think that was reprehensible. And obviously he was very upset that his parents didn't accept his Mexican wife, but and obviously what he did in Colorado wasn't cool either. But but what he did with his child, and how he showed that redemption, and how he grew as a person, because we all are entitled to make mistakes. We all are entitled to grow as human beings. And I think he did that so graceful. And I love that part of him. And the fact that his second part of his life was going to be even better than his first part. Obviously, he won I believe, I don't know if it was Academy Award, but yeah, I think he did. And so I remember that. And I like I said, you have to learn. The one thing I just wanted to say, because Ron had mentioned it, about the young man with the NBA in terms of what he did in terms of what's his name, Adam Silver. I got so much respect for Adam Silver for bringing his parents up there and showing that love that they showed him.
Clark.
Excuse me?
I said Terrence Clark.
Yes, Terrence Clark. But the one thing I wanted to mention about that I didn't get to mention, that I think is very important, everything was beautiful and sad and all that. But the one thing that Terrence did do that we have to mention is he wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah.
And it's so important. I remember Bobby Phills of the Hornets also died in a car accident. Terrence, the guy he hit, and I say he hit because Terrence went through a red light, okay, and he crashed into him. The other guy nothing happened to him. He was fine. But Terrence wasn't wearing that seatbelt, and unfortunately, that might have been the difference of him, being able to spare his life. So, it's really sad that a young man, 19 years old, that had so much promise, left us so early. And like I said, kudos to Adam Silver and the boys. The NBA, sometimes, we could be hard on my favorite sport, that is, but great job, what they did with his mother and his sister and everything. But yes, young people, wear that seatbelt. I tell the same thing to my children or anybody, wear that seatbelt. And also, hey, like I said, he did run that red light. So unfortunately, that's a sad part of it. You gotta be under control. You had a nice little automobile, obviously, was getting ready to go into another part of his life that was unbelievable. But, those are things that we just have to take into consideration as well. So, may he rest in peace. And this is not to trash him in any way, but to learn from him, and then that's, like I said, kudos to Adam Silver. God bless him.
Zara, what you got, Zara?
All right, let's change the mood a little bit, and let's go to the greatest Olympic moat. That bobsled. I'm just playing with y'all. I was gonna say Cool Runnings. Come on, bro. It's the dream team. Minus Isaiah. Come on, it's the Barcelona, the greatest team assembled in the world of basketball, period, or any team in any sport. You have Magic, Jordan, and Bird. Come on, man. The people, the three faces of the league. It's the first time that's ever happened. College wasn't getting it done. We lost to Russia. That controversial, when we didn't want to accept that medal. It was a lot of bull. These cats wasn't getting it done. And, why that sucks as the country that we, represent, if they don't lose, we don't get that dream team. Or if there is no animosity, we don't get that history is not made. So in a sense, I'm kind of glad that they did lose, because I got to see the GOAT play with, the other, dudes right behind him, Magic and Bird, who, the same era, my favorite era of basketball. And I got to watch history and watch them put on a clinic, never came close to losing like some of these other teams we would put out here from the professional standpoint. And yeah, man, it was just a beautiful thing. They got a great documentary on it. It's just the most heralded thing I've ever seen, especially in an Olympic standpoint. So by far, the dream team.
All right, Chocolate Girl.
Well, I couldn't choose between three. I'm like stuck on three different ones. But I will say that the most overblown over Olympic moment to me is with when the hockey team won. I get so sick of hearing about that doggone game. I don't know what to do. But every list I see, they always put that as number one. And I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I just can't. But that's not on my list. My tie for three, number one is the Dream Team. Because you will never have a team assembled like that again. All of them were Hall of Famers, every one of them. The only one that wasn't was the college kid, so he doesn't count. All of them. Yep, and all of them. I mean, they won by an average of 44 points across 8 games. It's phenomenal. You're not going to see that again. But then I had to tie that with two that really meant something for me, especially as a woman. One was when way back when Nadia Comaneci got her perfect 10 on the I think it was the balance beam, the uneven bars. That was phenomenal. I was a young girl. I was a little girl, and watching this little pint-sized girl get a perfect 10 and go home with 2 gold medals in I think it was 1976. Yeah, 76 in Montreal. It was just amazing. That's the first time I really got into the Olympics. And the third one was when FloJo won. I loved FloJo. She was just everything. And she won gold and silver and and set the world record, 10.62 seconds, which was just recently broken by a hundredth of a point. But that record lasted ever since 1988. Nobody was able to break it until this year. And so you got the Dream Team, you got Nadia, you got FloJo. I just can't pick which one between those three. But I have to mention, like it or not, that the greatest Olympic performance ever in the history of the Olympics to me is still Michael Phelps winning 8 gold medals in 1 Olympics. You won't see that again either. And that's in swimming. The way that he broke the 1972 record from Mark Spitz. It was amazing. So I can't pick one out of those. I'm sorry. Just can't pick which one is better. Maybe if I had to, it would probably be FloJo though.
Well, since you took mine, could you tell a story about the guy from your hometown?
I took yours.
I was gonna say Michael Phelps. That was what I was gonna say, but you took that one right from me. So
you can still say it.
Ain't nothing to say.
But that's the great. I mean, that's the greatest single sporting feat on the history of the earth and the history of Olympics ever. It just is. Man, he won 9 gold and 2 silver in London and Rio. I wanted you to tell a story about the guy from your hometown, though. Okay, so the guy from my hometown, everybody, is Edwin C. Moses. Edwin C. Moses is a track star and an expert at the 400-meter hurdles. He won 107 straight finals victories in that sport. 107 is a record, right? And he won gold in 2 consecutive Olympics for that sport as well. He changed the game because back when he was competing, everybody was only interested in the 100, the 200, the 4x4 relays. They were interested in speed. Nobody was watching the hurdles or caring about the hurdles, but he changed the game. He actually brought that sport, that race into prominence, and now people watch it. So for them to finally, after all these years, this year was the fastest 400 meter hurdles race ever. And so they interviewed him and talked about that. He was like, that's great because he's the one that started it all. And to me, he's probably one of the most overlooked and unrecognized greatest athletes ever. No one mentions him, but Edwin C. Moses was one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Oh man. Yeah, I didn't. Only other thing that I was going to say was the Michael Johnson. You know, I was more obsessed with him winning the gold medal with the gold sneakers on. You know, that was just like I was like, God damn, and he got gold sneakers too. That was what I was more obsessed with. But other than that, we do have to. Did everybody go?
Yeah, they go. Yeah, they go.
All right.
Them shoes were bright gold too.
Yeah. Other than that, we do have to wrap the show up. Again, Ron, you got any last words?
Thank you to the fans
Sharon,
because without y'all, we would not be doing this.
okay. Sharon, you got any last words?
Yeah, thank you guys for a great show tonight. It's always good to be on with you folks, talking sports. It's always a lot of fun. Just glad to be here. I just appreciate the fans and the engagement and the comments. Keep that coming. Because we do want y'all to talk to us and we want to talk back because that's why it's called Talk Your Ish Tuesday. So
Yes. Guru, what you
great
got?
show. Great show.
I guess echo what Sharon said. I mean, tremendous show. Love the fans out there, the Buck Flairs of the world and Duke Ellingtons and the rest of the boys. They make it really worth our while. Keep supporting us and yeah, man. Everybody on the panel, man, from you, Dennis, and obviously, my man Czar over there. Everybody did a great job.
Appreciate you too. Appreciate you, man.
Czar,
Appreciate everybody on the panel. We growing as a family. We have our, we keep it positive. Even we have our rants. It's always all love and the chemistry's fire. And I appreciate everybody for watching.
Hey, Dennis, can I say one last thing?
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave all y'all with this one verse, this one message. Speak what you seek until you see what you said. Just think about that. Speak what you seek until you see what you said. That's it.
All right. God bless. Good night.